Buff Nation!
Let's go. Big one.
Big one today. Welcome into DNVR Buffs Primetime. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. Jake and RK here, and we are joined by Mr. Jahquez Robinson.
So sick. So great to have him on. Let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in. The former Alabama Crimson Tide cornerback. Attended the spring game. Now he's a Buff. Jahquez, welcome to the show, man, and welcome to Colorado.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, just take us through kind of the last few months for you, making the decision to transfer from Alabama all the way up to making the decision to transfer to Colorado.
Well, first, Coach Kelly, I saw Coach Kelly got the job at Colorado right before the spring started. So I was just kind of happy for him and happy to see him back in the defensive coordinator role. And I was just watching from afar, checking on him and seeing how he was doing. But when things didn't really work out the way I thought they should have this spring, I decided in the transfer portal. The first call I got was from Coach Kelly.
That's awesome, man. Coach Kelly is we've heard a lot about him, a lot of admiration for him. But what was that spring game like from your perspective, just as a visitor? There was a lot of you guys there, but what was that like for you?
I feel like it was good. My relationship with Coach Kelly was already good, so it was good to see him again. Coach Sal, those guys recruited me in high school to go to Bama and stuff like that. And the spring game was definitely lit, I would say, because it's good to see that type of turnout and the support from the fans, especially with a program that's in the rebuilding stage.
So you talked a lot about Coach Kelly, but one of the things that we've said a lot on this show is if you're a defensive back in college football right now, how could you help yourself from wanting to play for Deion Sanders, for Coach Prime? Is that something that kind of you thought about in this process?
That was huge. So, me coming from playing from Bama, playing for Bama, playing for Coach Saban, and that being one of the best defensive minds in the game, and then going to play with the best athlete, the best corner to ever do it, it's kind of like the best of both worlds for me.
Well, you're reuniting with Coach Kelly, but we learned from, I think, the Folsom Frenzy podcast, Jahquez, you're best friends with Demoy Kennedy. So yeah. What was that like, kind of seeing, reuniting with him, taking those pictures, and now you get to play alongside him again?
It's great. Me and him always talked about making plays together and playing in the same field, and it's finally getting to happen. Coach Kelly has a great plan for him as well, for him to show his versatility, his speed on the edge, and stuff like that. So definitely going to be fun playing in the field with my best friend for sure.
What can you tell us about Demoy? What is Colorado getting? What can we expect to see from him on the field?
Fast, physical linebacker. He's definitely fast. Has a lot of position flexibility. He can play a little bit. I would say a Sam linebacker, so he can play coverage. He can run. He can blitz. He's DB fast, 4.4, 4.5 type of guy.
Love that. We need more of that.
Yes, sounds awesome.
You mentioned Charles Kelly already a bunch, but I'm just curious, what do you think he demands out of his players just on the roster? You saw it at Alabama, but here at Colorado, obviously a lot of players have entered the transfer portal. What do you think he's looking for out of his players?
Just guys who are willing to play their game. I was talking to Coach Kelly the other day, actually. He was telling me that he wanted me to play my game and however I feel comfortable within the system. So I really appreciate that because it allows me to be myself and know and make plays and trust my instincts and stuff like that. And having a coach that believes in my ability also helps me be more confident.
What about you? What do you want Colorado fans to know about your game when you come here?
Confident, swaggy for sure. I like to. I'm not gonna say I talk a lot of noise, but me being from Florida, I'm gonna talk a little bit. So that's kind of one of my biggest things is that I'm gonna play me down to the fullest, and me not really playing as much at Alabama and getting to show my talent, which I feel like I should have. Definitely have a big chip on my shoulder.
Why do you like to talk? Every guy kind of has a different reason of does that psych you up? Does it? What is the thought process behind it?
I feel like when I talk, I got to deliver. So you don't want to just be a talker. I feel like I have to stand on what I'm saying. And so it kind of turns me up as well. Like, I just told this guy this. Let me not let him do it. You feel me? So,
Yes.
yeah, so that's definitely one of the biggest things. Like, and also just getting in their head. So, like, making them focus on beating me instead of beating the team or beating the scheme or whatever.
Jahquez, you're from Jacksonville. Coach Prime has kind of put an emphasis on bringing in players from Florida. What is it about football players from Florida that is different, and why does Coach Prime want to build his roster with a ton of guys from Florida?
It's all we do down here is football. Everybody plays football. So it's whether you're playing at the park, you're playing 7-on-7, you're playing spring ball, everything is competitive and everything is football down here. That's all we do.
What can you tell us about your relationship with Pat Surtain?
So Pat was there my freshman year. I got to watch him a lot just because, like, I know he has good technique, good body control and stuff like that. So I was able to watch and take a few things from him and get to talk to him and kind of learn the game, stuff like that from him.
I saw him at the Super Bowl. I told him the Buffs were coming for Bama. He didn't like it.
Yeah, he's a big Bama guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Another couple Florida guys I want to ask you about. Travis Hunter and Cormani McClain. Did you know them before committing, and how excited are you to be playing alongside them this year?
I met Cormani on the visit when I went up there. I'm excited to play play with two guys of that caliber, especially, me being at Bama, I played with guys of high talent levels, but those guys have great ball skills, great competitors, and I like, being in that type of room because now we can bounce ideas off each other. Hey, bro, I think you could have played this a little bit better. Or, hey, bro, how would you play this? How would you stick this type of receiver? Just being in a room full of guys with talent, you start to learn your limits and learn what you can do and what you got to work on because those guys doing it well too. So it kind of lets you know where you are just amongst your peers.
What did you think of the city of Boulder during your visit? I'm curious, just kind of the thought process behind coming to Colorado and seeing the views and that sort of thing. What did you think of Boulder?
It's definitely different. Definitely different from Alabama. Definitely different from Florida. But I liked it though. My parents loved it. So especially when they said it's kind of more, the food is more wholesome down there for me. I'm not really a big meat eater type of guy. I don't really like a lot of stuff like that. So they had a lot of vegan spots for me to go to and good eats. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's that you'll love that. There's a ton of great places to eat clean there. If you ever need any recs, don't hesitate to hit us up.
We got you,
Okay,
man. I'm curious, when you watch film, are there any major stylistic differences or any type of difference in general between the Pac-12 and the SEC just in terms of play style?
A lot more passing. I would say definitely a lot more passing attempts I see being thrown. The running game isn't as a big a part of the game. I know on Coach Saban's defense, it was more so stop the run, force them to pass. So Pac-12 is probably stop the pass, make them run. I haven't played in the Pac-12 yet, so I don't really know. But I know Coach Saban was big on the run fits and having the right gaps and stuff like that when it comes to the run game.
More opportunities for picks.
Exactly.
Can't wait, man. Hopefully we get to see you out here in Colorado soon. You got anything else, Ryan?
That's all we got.
All right, man. Thank you, Jahquez, so much for coming on the show, man. We'll talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll get you back on the show soon as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I actually go down to Boulder the 15th, so I'll be down there soon.
All right,
Sweet,
man. We'll see you soon. Get out here safe.
All right. Yes, sir.
And there he is, Jahquez Robinson.
Awesome stuff.
Good
awesome
stuff,
man. Super excited for him. Definitely my favorite part was him talking about how he likes to talk trash.
Yep.
Fires me up.
I love it too. Cormani's going to do it. Travis is going to do it too.
Oh, yeah. There's just something about it. And he's right. Exactly kind of what he said. When you put that out there and you're talking on the field, you have to back it up. And it does fire you up. But the other side of it is true as well. You get that guy mad at you.
Oh, yeah.
And, if they're not great at controlling their emotions and channeling them the right way, you can draw personal fouls. You can get them off their game. I hope the whole defense is chirpy.
Yeah, I think they will be.
I think they will too. And then Also, just talking about Demoy.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm hyped for him just to reunite with his best friend.
Yep. And all the stuff he said about him, like talking about a linebacker with DB speed is that's why he was my guy from the jump.
Most anticipated arrival, Demoy Kennedy, when he's finally healthy and on the field?
For me, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in off-ball linebackers. I think it's the most underrated position in football. Like the NFL has kind of gone down this road where people are talking about how, you shouldn't put too much value in that position. And I'm just like, look at the best defenses ever and look who was playing for them.
Yep.
And damn near 9 times out of 10, you will see a Hall of Fame linebacker in the middle of a great defense.
Absolutely.
So I'm maybe as high as anyone on that position. And I think in college, it can even be more impactful. The reason being is you can get away with being a little bit smaller. And so you can, you talk about sideline to sideline guys in the league. It's more likely that you see a sideline to sideline guy in college because they can, you can get away with 225 or so.
Right.
And, just fly around making plays. And to be honest, a lot of the great tradition of Colorado football comes right alongside great linebackers. So, if Demoy can go out there and be that guy, I will be just ecstatic.
Just to add some like football nerdy stuff to that, with the wider hashes in college, though, man, those sideline to sideline linebackers, they just pop off the screen.
Oh yeah,
like at Georgia when you saw N'Kobe Dean or Roquan Smith just sprinting sideline to sideline, pops so much more when you have those wider hashes and just more ground to cover.
Easily a top 10 favorite player for me to watch at Colorado was Jordan Dizon, who had a short stint in the NFL before getting hurt. Was actually a scout for the Broncos as recently as last year, but same thing. And there was all these. He was from Hawaii. There's all these awesome kind of like wives' tales about him, like chasing down wild hogs and tackling them and like with his hands and all this shit when he was a kid. And like that same thing, just sideline to sideline, popping people in the mouth. I love the position, but we can circle back to Jahquez.
Yeah.
Just. First of all, seems very confident in his decision to come here, very confident in his abilities. First guy I've heard not say like worried about the food in Boulder.
Right.
Sounds like he's into vegetarian, vegan stuff,
it.
which is, it's probably like the capital of the world when it comes to that kind of stuff. So he'll definitely love that.
Yeah, that was cool. Also, just how easy this decision seemed for him. Just constant contact with Coach Kelly once he entered the portal. And then obviously the admiration for Coach Prime, the greatest defensive back of all time.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was really just an easy decision for him to come to Colorado.
It's kind of cool to hear a guy talk more about someone other than Coach Prime.
Right.
Like he made it pretty clear to me, I thought, that his decision was about Coach Kelly. Coach Prime, obviously a huge bonus on top. Like I asked him about playing for, and he said it, the best cornerback of all time. But this for him was about his admiration and respect for Coach Kelly.
Yep.
And it just so happens that he's at Colorado now, and I love that for all parties.
His primary recruiter in 2020 to get him to Alabama was Sal Sinceri too.
There you go.
So the links are undeniable, really.
You probably had a couple of good Coach Sal stories. We can ask him next time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get those out of him for sure. And another Florida boy, man. We're up to 16 now when you count Travis.
Yep.
It's clear the mentality that they have when they approach the game, especially in the secondary, and I'm excited that that's basically going to be this entire secondary is Florida boys.
Very Florida of him when I asked him what kind of player he is. The first thing he said is swaggy.
Yeah.
I loved that. Or maybe that was the second thing after confident.
Right. Either way, it was one or two. All right, let's catch up on the news. We had a couple commitments, Ryan. It's crazy. We're not even leading the show with commitments anymore because they just happen all the time.
One more thank you to Jahquez Robinson for joining us. It was really, really cool.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can get him down here once he's actually here in Colorado.
Amen.
Shout out to Shady Rays, the independent sunglasses company who offers a world-class product. The sun is out there beaming today. You need the Shady Rays outside.
Oh, yeah. 80 degrees.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Might be 80 degrees in the studio.
Honestly, maybe. Every pair of their sunglasses are backed by lost and broken replacements. You can shop their entire collection at the Park Meadows Mall or go online to shadyrays.com Make sure you use promo code DNVR. You can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by 250,000 people. And then
let's get us rated 5 stars by 250,000 people.
Let's try that. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give the pod a 5-star review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And then shout out to Shedeur's number 2. Ryan, I tried it last night, man.
Oh, did you?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
We're cooking.
Woo!
Let's go. I got my Shedeur's apron on. Let's cook.
Beautiful. You have to wear that the rest of the show now.
I'm not adding more layers to my body, as hot as it is in here right now.
Probably smart. But I finally tried it for the first time last night, and it was delicious. I love the little spice at the end of it, too.
It's like a very modest kick.
Yeah.
But it does have a nice little finish to it. What did you have it on?
Chicken thighs.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice. How'd you prepare them?
Air fryer, actually.
Air
Just
fryer
salt,
chicken?
pepper, little garlic powder, and then after they were done cooking, put some sauce on there.
Drown them in sauce.
No, I actually don't go too liberal on the sauce, but just a nice little glaze. Put them back in there for like a minute or two, get it to like caramelize on there.
I would say at
Delicious.
least 50% of my decisions on what to eat is based on what sauce I want. Like,
that's fair.
I'm all about the sauce.
Yep. I've got like 4 bottles of barbecue sauce in my fridge now. 3 things of salsa.
I've got TD's barbecue sauce, Shedeur's barbecue sauce.
Collecting them all, man.
Ed McCaffrey's mustard.
There you go. Head on over to plbse.com. Use promo code ALLCITY, all caps, all one word, to get 10% off your order of Shedeur's number 2. All right, 2 commitments. First one, J.J. Hawkins. This came through last night.
Yes, sir.
Former Ole Miss defensive end, another bigger defensive end too, 6'2", 265. He is from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Played at, or was a redshirt in 2021. Last year, I believe he only played in a handful of games. Only had a few tackles. Yeah. Yep. But was a former 3-star recruit in the 2021 class. Many offers. Now he's a Buff.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know where this is coming from, but every time the Buffs add a skill position player, there's like 20 comments that are like, need more in the trenches. They've been adding just as much, if not more, to the trenches than they have to the skill positions.
I know. It's crazy.
And there's another one. And there's another one.
There's another one, too. But yes, I don't know. What are we up to? 9 new defensive ends?
And remember, this is all about having darts.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in this guy. You bring in the Florida State guys. You bring in the Old Dominion guys. You bring in... You don't need every one of them to be good. You just don't.
Yep.
You need like 3 of them to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You love for all 9 of them to be good. But you bring in these guys, you got a dart. If you hit the bullseye, boom, you're good. It's very interesting, and it's never been seen before, so people don't know how to react to what's happening right now. But if you think about it, it's almost as if Coach Prime had like 35 draft picks in an NFL draft.
Right.
And, maybe they had like 5 picks in the top 150 and then 30 in the mid to late rounds. And I promise you, if you have 30 picks in the mid to late rounds, you are going to hit some home runs.
Yep. So
you take these guys, you take a chance here, you take a chance there, SEC talent, lower level guy who destroyed it. This guy was buried behind a superstar on the depth chart. Bring them all in, get your darts, and try to hit a couple bullseyes, and that's all you need. There's 22 guys on the field at a time.
Right.
They're bringing in 60-something transfers. 1/3 of them have to be really good, maybe.
Right. Well, and they definitely have a type, too, because they're focusing on ACC, SEC, former like 3-stars who, as you said, are kind of just stashed on the depth chart, who really don't have a chance to break through at their current school, which is why they entered the portal. And now you've got this wide open opportunity at Colorado where they're just trying to get as many people from the portal as they can. And it's really kind of just wide open. Anyone can start from anywhere at this point.
And there's definitely the other side of this whole transfer portal thing, which is like you can't really develop players anymore.
Yeah.
Like Why am I forgetting it? There's so many names. The Florida State kid who committed this weekend.
Bishop Thomas.
There we go. Bishop Thomas. He wins Scout Team Player of the Year at Florida State.
Yep.
That means they were feeling really good about his development, right? They loved what he was bringing to the team. You just don't get that luxury anymore. Like, you know, I remember for a long time, like Derek McCartney, who is, of course, a grandson of Bill McCartney. He gray-shirted, red-shirted, didn't play, and then, you know, there was 3 years there where, you know, he became a part of it, and by the time he was a senior, he was a star. Mm-hmm. That's just, you can't do it in college football anymore.
Right.
And I'm very grateful for the fact that Coach Prime isn't one of the people pushing back on this, is leaning into it as hard as he can and trying to capitalize on it as much as he can.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Florida State's loss is our gain. And it's unfortunate for them that they didn't get the chance to continue that guy's development, but it's great for us.
It's great for the player, though. I mean, for someone like Bishop Thomas, who won Scout Player of the Year last year, like you just pointed out, he's probably waiting another at least 2-3 years to even break in the rotation on Florida State's D-line. Mm-hmm. But he had a good season on the scout team, kind of built that confidence, realized, hey, I can play, entered the portal, and now he found a team that's willing to give him an opportunity.
Absolutely. And I bet you if you go back and look at guys who have won Scout Team Player of the Year, 4 teams, there's a ton of success stories. Like if you just watch college football on Saturdays, you'll hear, you know, Chris Fowler or someone say, like, this guy won Scout Team Player of the Year last year, and now he's out here making plays. Like, Philip Lindsay was a Scout Team Player of the Year at Colorado. I mentioned this because he's my good friend, but Kenny Bell, who was a wide receiver at Nebraska, was Scout Team Player of the Year his freshman year when he redshirted. Then he became Nebraska's all-time leading receiver. Like, these guys who are showing out against the first team end up playing for the first team.
That's what Coach Prime is looking for, though, that dog in them. And that's what it is.
Yep, totally.
Second guy, Arden Walker. We've talked about him before. Former Missouri defensive end, I believe. 6'2", 252. Was a 2021 3-star recruit.
I heard the Buffs were ardently recruiting him.
They were, because he's out of Cherry Creek High School.
Yes.
Blake Purchase already kind of quote tweeted his commitment and said, "Can't wait to see you in Autzen." So
let's go. Can't wait to see you in Boulder, Blake, after you transfer.
Yep. It's happening. Anyways, he's got 3 years of eligibility remaining. Didn't play much. Played in all 12 games last year as a redshirt freshman. However, I believe it's only like 6 tackles. 6 total tackles, 1.5 for a loss. But also last year was SEC Fall Academic Honor Roll. Same thing in 2021, first year SEC Academic Honor Roll. So obviously a very smart guy.
Yeah, this was one that I wanted. You know, the number of Colorado guys on the roster has waned incredibly. And I am never someone who says, like, you have to recruit Colorado if you're going to succeed. Like, that's just a lie. But it's nice to have guys from the state on the roster, especially guys who are SEC talent. You know, this is a guy who's recruited to the SEC, hadn't quite had enough time to become that guy there, just like we were just talking about with Bishop Thomas. But a guy who played in the SEC, who's coming to Colorado, another dart, another, you know, great opportunity to succeed as a Buff, and a guy who's probably going to have a little extra pride in putting that Colorado across his chest.
Absolutely. I don't know if so the picture that we put on the Buffs Twitter for his commitment is actually from his visit 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep. So it was meant to be.
Well, welcome home, Arden.
So 2 new defensive ends. We'll see how much they're able to break into the lineup this year. We do have a walk-on commitment also, and that is former LSU wide receiver Jack Rilling from, I believe, Madison, Wisconsin, decided to go walk on at LSU, I believe 2 years ago. Had a redshirt season. I think he played in 4 games, didn't catch a pass, but I think this is the Corey Phillips connection coming through here.
I was going to say there's got to be a staff connection there for a guy to go from walk-on at one school to walk-on at another.
Yep.
But, hey, if he got on the field, that's impressive in itself.
Mm-hmm. Another wide receiver. Someone said we have 19 wide receivers on this roster. I don't know if that's
got to be high. If it includes walk-ons, I could see it.
Maybe that's what it is, but man, they're loaded up.
I mean,
on
they
the
were down
perimeter.
to how many after like Montana and Jordan Tyson transferred out?
Someone said JSU had 20.
Okay.
There you go. I don't know. We had how many of them actually stuck around? Do you remember the wide receivers from last year? I can't remember any of them. I think they're all gone.
I think so too.
So there you go. Some offers we need to get through. Colorado offers 2025 4-star defensive lineman Jordan Crawford. This guy is 6'1", 280 pounds, out of Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama. Has earned at least 16 offers. Alabama's in there. Florida State's in there. Michigan's in there. Tennessee's in there. And now CU. But class of 2025. So a very long way to go, but looks like a blue chip from that recruiting class at least.
Let's go.
Next guy, I saw someone say we should watch film of this guy, and we probably should. Connor Gilbreath.
Okay. Gilbreth?
Gilbreth. You tell me.
I think that's Gilbreth.
Gilbreth, all right. A JUCO tight end out of Butte College in Redding, California, is listed as an offensive tackle recruit on 247.
Okay.
Was listed as a tight end on Butte Community College's roster.
Okay.
And then he tagged Coach OB in his offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. He was listed last year on Butte's roster 6'5", 245 as a tight end.
That's tight end size.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
But I guess it's possible that, people don't always recruit their position. It's not always that, like, a lot of times
Right.
it's regional. So where is Butte Community College?
I believe in California.
Okay. Sounds right to me. I feel like there's a famous person who went there. Like, is that where Aaron Rodgers went or something?
I don't know. Orland, California. Let me see.
Yeah, so my point being, we know Brew's been down in the South. It's possible that OB was in California and, he went and saw this guy.
Right. Let's see. Butte Community College alumni.
Famous alums.
Larry Allen,
Okay.
Hall of Famer left tackle. And how'd you know Aaron Rodgers went to Butte Community College?
There we go, baby. My brain is full
Ow.
of useless knowledge.
That's crazy. That's literally probably the only two people you probably know who are famous alumni.
Yep, there we go.
But yeah, we should probably check out his film at some point because I heard this guy is an absolute steamroller at tight end. Yeah,
Well, I'm sure they could use him.
absolutely. Final guy we're going to talk about here is 2024 3-star edge, Amontre Bradford, ranked 861st overall, 61st overall edge, Statesboro High School out of Statesboro, Georgia. Has 14 offers, including Colorado now. Not many big ones. I mean, he's got Minnesota, GT, USF. So this actually may be one of his first Power 5 offers. He's got Indiana in there, Vanderbilt.
Okay.
So there you go. And then this came out yesterday, but we're going to talk about it today. Big Game Boomer put out a list of the top quarterbacks in college football this year,
Yes, this was interesting.
and Shedeur Sanders
Big game boomer.
comes
Love
in at
them when
11.
they say things that I like. Hate them when they say things I don't.
Absolutely. 11th, though, ahead of some playoff contenders and big names.
So I was looking at the list and I didn't see anyone behind him that I was like, you could make an agreement that this is, or you can make an argument that this is insane.
J.J. McCarthy at Michigan.
Of course, you would go to the Michigan guy.
Well, it's close. He's one of the better guys behind him here. Grayson McCall, Coastal.
He's still playing.
He's still playing.
He's good. He's good for sure.
He's ahead of KJ Jefferson and Spencer Rattler. Devin Leary, who's at Kentucky now.
Spencer Rattler is like just a name. KJ Jefferson is sick. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly ahead of good players, but I don't know. I was glad to see like there wasn't anyone that like has a crazy case. I like that they're projecting a little bit on Shedeur like we are, that he's gonna be that dude at Colorado the same way he was at Jackson State.
Absolutely. But the point coming from this, though, is this is the main reason why Colorado is going to be better. And the people who are all hating and talking about, oh, Coach Prime can't build a team from the portal, the fact that this guy is going to be throwing passes and calling the signals for the Buffs is the sole reason why they're going to be so much better this year.
I know. Anyone who is, preying on Colorado going 1-11 again your dream was over the second Shedeur Sanders stepped foot on campus.
Exactly.
Could not agree more. How about your boy who lost his mind that Shedeur is ahead of Jeff Sims?
The guy who has been blowing up my mentions the last 3 days?
Yeah. Jeff Sims and his 1,200 yards per season.
He somehow makes this list, though, at 36. Right behind Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, like what? Oh, Quinn Ewers is criminally underrated
sick,
here.
Yeah. Guys that Jeff Sims is ahead of. DJ Uyunglele.
No.
Cade McNamara at Iowa now.
No.
Keaton Slovis.
How many places has he been?
He's at
what school is he at now?
Can you guess where he's at now?
Oh my God. I think I might know this. Is it big?
Power 5 now.
Cincinnati.
Close. BYU.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been at USC.
He played at Pitt last year.
Pitt. I want to say he's been another place.
Keaton Slovis. He
I'll
has
look it
to
up.
have. But other guys that Jeff Sims is ahead of. Brennan Armstrong, Dre loves Brennan Armstrong.
Who's he?
He was the Virginia quarterback,
yep.
lefty, I believe. He's at NC State now. And then Dante Moore makes the list at 41. The 5-star
Interesting.
incoming freshman who hasn't played a single down of college football, listed at 41.
Okay, it does look like he was just
those two.
USC, Pitt, BYU.
Well, we'll see what happens after this next year, I guess.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams tops the list. Michael Penix Jr., number 3. Bo Nix, 5. And then Shedeur at 11. So heavy Pac-12 representation
Conference of quarterbacks.
here. Yep. Who else do we got? We got DJU and Dante Moore.
No JDL?
No JDL. JDL's in some shit right now. Did you know?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Legal?
Legal.
Oh,
Yep.
that's not great.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look into it after
I
this.
guess he can't be my guy anymore.
I would recommend not, naming him as such.
All right. Good to know.
Let's talk to the people.
I'm strictly a Shedeur guy now.
Strictly, that's not a bad policy to go by, though.
Nope.
Shout out to our presenting sponsor, Illegal Pete's. Illegal Pete's, always our go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. I haven't had Illegal Pete's in a minute. When's the last time you went, Ryan?
Yesterday.
Reverse nachos?
Yep.
Never misses, does it?
So good. Man, I'm so hungry.
Me too.
Go for pizza again, probably.
It's patio season now, too.
I know.
Pete's is just like flourishing at this
I know.
point.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta
amazing.
like if you're making a pilgrimage to the DNVR bar, just like go get a margarita, hang out on the porch or the patio out at Legal Pete's, maybe have some chips and queso.
Yep. It's a short walk
2
from the
blocks
DNVR
away.
bar. Kick off the spring season with a house beer bucket for you and your whole crew. 5 refreshing 16-ounce beers for just $15. It doesn't get much better than that. So come hang out on the patio with your loaded burrito, a crisp beer. Legal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. And then also shout out to our friends at Breckenridge Brewery. We've got the Nuggets tonight. A big Game 5. I can only imagine the scenes if the Nuggets win this game. Celebrating with the Breck Brew in hand.
Oh yeah.
Be a big one.
I know. I'm still thinking of maybe going to the game, but either way, I'll either be at the game or here, and the atmosphere is going to be electric.
Absolutely. You can try out some of our favorites: Mountain Beach Sour, Strawberry Sky, Mile High City Golden Ale, You can find out exactly where they are if you use the Breckenridge Brewery beer locator at www.breckbrew.com. What do we got today? Angela, what's up? Other coaches fear Coach Prime rebuild working because their alumni base is going to rip them apart for not doing what Coach Prime did. Coach Prime succeeds, college football will change in a big way. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that if the Buffs win a lot of games this year, they are immediately going to make rules to the transfer portal. It used to be capped. I didn't know this because it never came into play for Colorado. But I believe it was capped at 25.
Yep.
They'll bring back the cap. Maybe they let it go to 40 or something like that, but they will not allow another coach to flip 70 players in one offseason.
It's just such an isolated kind of circumstance with Colorado, though, because of how bad they were.
And how good Coach Prime is at getting players.
It's really a monumentous jump in just in NCAA, the game, the stars. You hire Deion Sanders and you automatically get 3 extra stars next to Colorado.
Yeah, it is, but other people will try it.
Right.
And almost every coach who goes in to take over a bad program is going to say, well, got to try to flip as many players as I can.
Right. Yeah, we'll see.
And you have a great kind of arrow in the quiver, which is you can play immediately. And that's what everyone wants in the transfer portal.
That's what I'm saying. This is such a unique situation.
Yep.
Because of all these factors and because you can literally transfer in and play immediately.
I would say if Colorado wins 7 or more games, I bet heavy on massive transfer portal reform in the offseason.
I think they just go 3-0 if you start the year.
Yeah, that's also possible.
And shoot, even if you hang in there against USC and Oregon, they're going to be like, all right, hold on here. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting.
And I agree that Coach Prime is a very unique, he's the only guy who could do it at this caliber.
Right.
But everyone will be trying, and people will just say, oh, that's bad.
Well, I mean, look at, Lincoln Riley and Lane Kiffin, what they did when they got to their new places. They turned over the roster. Jay Norvell even.
Yep.
His was actually even more extreme. They turned over at Colorado State 50-plus players.
Yep. Also, I'm seeing this in the comments. I think they are breaking the news to us that we have hit 40,000 subscribers.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for making that possible. I was looking. We were at 30,000 before Coach Prime joined the Buffs, and that was over the course of 7 years.
Yeah.
So 10,000 in a matter of months since Coach Prime got here. Huge thank you to you guys. You are a massive part of that. So we couldn't thank you guys enough.
Love you, Buff Nation. VHF, how many scholarships do you think we'll save for the postgraduate camp they are having in a few weeks? I don't know.
Down to 12?
Well, I think we're at
73?
72 or 73.
I think 70. It was 71 yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Two more.
Then, 73.
They've got 12 left. I mean, people thought that they were going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel.
They're only going to have a 50-man roster.
Someone said that. Someone really said, I'm projecting Colorado to have 56 scholarship players or some stupid shit like that. It took a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they could finish it off right now if they wanted to.
Probably.
But they're, probably being patient and, going through the scouting process, trying to find some gems.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we haven't talked about is the eligibility. We'll go through it. Look how thoughtful the eligibility chart is by the end of this. Mm-hmm. Because you could really get wonky taking in this many transfers if you brought in all seniors.
Right.
Then all of a sudden 70 guys graduate this year.
Yeah.
They have been really smart. Arden Walker, redshirt freshman, Bishop Thomas, redshirt freshman. They're filling out the eligibility chart just as much as they're filling out the roster.
Right.
Smart.
You know what we should do? We should go back and look at some of these guys who are coming in, either 1-year red shirts or 2-year red shirts, and go look at what would, if this was Colorado's recruiting class 2 years ago, how good would have it actually looked?
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Right. That's
I
actually
wonder
a
if
great
they'd
idea.
rank higher than their actual like classes.
By a lot.
Yeah. I'll
Love
look
it.
into that.
Lone Wolf says 100K by the off season. Let's make it happen. Then we get our play button. You get
There
like
you
a
go.
plaque from YouTube.
Let's go.
I'm gonna throw this one up really quick.
How many scholarships are left? Keith asked.
We think
at
12.
12, yeah. Oh, back to the question about the camp. I don't know if they're actually saving scholarships for the camp. I mean, it'd be nice to have some on hand just in case, but I don't think they're betting on these camps to like, oh, we're gonna find 7 players from
Right.
Miller asks RK. Chris Hummer says Alton is to be on campus this weekend. Thoughts? Anybody else you want to see this weekend?
Who's Chris Hummer? Is he
Works for
24/7?
247. Yep.
Nice. I hope that's all true.
He's the one that gave Alton McCaskill the crystal ball, and we haven't heard anything since.
Some anchor bias here.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, we hope that's true. I'm very high on Alton McCaskill. So
I just pulled up Chris Hummer's Twitter page. Don't see anything today.
maybe it's like on a board somewhere.
Yep.
Cool. Anyone else we're hoping to see on campus this weekend? Maybe Gilbreth?
Him, your guy, Jackson, right? Jaquez Jackson.
Oh, is he? I thought he already
He
visited.
already came though, right?
Yeah.
So we're still waiting on. I mean, there's like 10 guys here last weekend.
Yep.
So there could be more commits coming in.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Bing says the mass transfer rule is already being taken away next year.
Coach Prime got in at the right time.
Damn. That would be a great chapter in the Coach Prime at Colorado book.
Yeah. Someone said something about the scholarships at the. Coach Prime said he's giving out scholarships on site at the camps. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gives out a few. I don't think he's trying to round out all his allotted scholarships with them, though.
Also, that's a great way to incentivize people to come.
Absolutely.
All right, what else we got?
Bing also says this was a COVID exception.
Right, it makes sense.
Okay, what are y'all's top 3 portal targets as of right now?
McCaskill.
McCaskill's up there. Ukwu's still out there, the James Madison guy.
Interesting.
Although that looks probably not happening to Colorado.
Okay.
Marquise Gums went back to Arkansas. Did you see that?
No way. Yeah. Wait. So he transferred from Arkansas to...
He was at North Texas.
Oh, North Texas to Arkansas, back in the portal, back to Arkansas.
Yeah, committed to Arkansas, then was like, actually, I'm going to decommit. Was decommitted for like, I don't know, maybe a week. And then a day or two ago, recommitted to Arkansas.
I don't think you could pull that at Colorado. I don't think Coach Prime would ride with that.
No. I don't think so either. Going through top available portal guys, we still have Zachary Franklin, the UTSA wide receivers out there.
I'm still putting my name next to Jaquez Jackson.
Keon Coleman, although on threes, RPM meter has 100% to Ole Miss. By the way, they filed one for Jordan Tyson to ASU. Did you see that?
Ole Miss for Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Tonyo, so can we get an update on the total numbers of transfer portal recruits that have come in since May 1st?
So many.
Yeah, a lot, man. I can count it out for you if you give me a minute, but
Okay, I'll read the next question while you do that. Although I might need your help here. What is going on with Elijah Brown and the other tight end offers?
I haven't heard anything on Elijah Brown. He's still in the portal, I believe. Entered on the 17th. I haven't been personally keeping track of his offers and stuff, so I don't know.
Who's the other guy? Short last name.
King?
No. Freshman tight. Oh, Kylan Fox.
Oh, yeah.
That's who I want.
He put out... did he put out a top schools, or he teased that he was putting out a top schools? Something like that. This is my life. This is my life.
I know, it's great.
I think he actually did put out a top schools not too long ago.
We were in it.
Yeah, Colorado was up there.
Yep.
He's still raking in the offers, man. I tell you what.
All right, Sparky says, is there any concern about this team being able to gel by week 1? Lots of new yet upgraded names to the roster. Yeah, I can't really speak to what that's like. I don't know. What does it take for a team to gel? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They can do PRPs, which is player run practices, really whenever now. So, Shedeur is going to be throwing with the wide receivers. I'm not concerned about that.
Right.
But, the offensive line is going to be a quick turnaround in fall camp to really get chained together. It is going to be an interesting process.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest concern really with the team.
Yep.
Is just how does everything fit together? Like, do all these personalities fit together on the field, off the field? Do the coaches gel together? Are they on the same page play calling wise, scheme wise? It takes a long time sometimes.
And you just don't know, like, the other side of this is you always hear, like, oh, man, these safeties have been playing together for 3 years. Like, they know each other's, like, the back of each other's hands. You're not going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a great, great coaching staff. They're going to make things easy for these players. They know. I have a very strong conviction that they know they can't put in some super complex defense that all these guys who weren't even here in the spring have to learn in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep it simple. They're going to make things easy. The offense is going to be a little more complex, but it's on Shedeur.
Yes.
Like Shedeur, everyone else's job is pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur's the one who it's on him to know the offense, and we're obviously extremely confident that he's going to have that on the bag. So it's absolutely a variable. It's absolutely a variable, and it's going to be talked about a lot going into week 1 against TCU.
Yeah. Cheryl says they did it at JSU. True, but step up in competition, man. They're going to be playing against USC and Oregon week 4 and 5. Like,
yeah, and TCU.
Not really time to tune up before those,
I would love if they had, South Dakota on the schedule in week 1.
Well, they have North Dakota State next year.
Yeah.
How about that? Jake and RK, I watched last year season episodes, and after the Buffs lost to Navy, AD Rick George put out a statement because the team sucked. I'm pretty sure they won't have to happen this year.
It was Air Force.
My God, yeah.
And yeah, that was bad.
The dreaded vote of confidence.
Yeah, beginning of the end for Carl Durrell for sure. I didn't think they had the balls to fire Carl Durrell last year. I'm so glad they did.
Wow. Crazy.
Rock bottom can be a positive.
Yep. 11 players have committed since May 1st, by the way.
Okay. Hell yeah.
With some committing even 2 days before May 1st, so including Jahquez. So,
yep.
I don't know. A lot of players. Check out the Prime Tracker at thednvr.com to get it all.
For sure. And honestly, like, I don't know who Jackson State played that first year after the huge transfer early in the season, but, it's quite possible in those classics and stuff they played a very strong team from the SWAC or from the MEAC or whoever it may be. But the big thing, honestly, for me is probably that Shedeur was the quarterback.
Yep.
And that same thing is going to happen at Colorado. Like, you are going to have your leader on the field, and it'll help a lot to gel. And the other thing is, like, I think they're going to play a pretty simple defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if the corners live up to their billing, it's going to be cover 2 man.
Right.
Or cover 1.
Yep.
And so that's, like, I don't think you really have to gel all that much. Now, I guess it's probably going to be more cover 1. Because I know Coach Prime doesn't like cover 2.
They're going to be very man heavy. I guarantee it.
Yeah. But either way, like, there's a little bit of, like, gelling with the safeties and knowing where they're going to be and that sort of stuff. But it's a lot of just, like, go beat the guy in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the guys to do that, you'll do it easily.
Right. I don't have an update on Sean Washington, I'm sorry.
So he played FAMU in the first game. 7-6 final score, apparently.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Was that the 2021 spring season then?
The timeline I don't have.
Yeah, neither do I. Check out what Bear Bryant did in the 50s with Texas A&M, 100 players went to camp, 38 came back. I feel like I watched a movie on that in high school.
Really?
Yeah, so my football coach in high school taught this class called Real History.
Oh, God. That sounds problematic.
Well, we watched movies, and I remember one of them being a Bear Bryant movie about how it was like the hardest training camp ever for all these guys back in the 50s or something. And yeah, pretty similar, I guess, to what just happened in Boulder this last spring.
Yeah, there you go. Real history. Woo.
Yeah, Real History. We watched. Oh, I did get an A. We watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Okay.
Among many others.
So I guess real history is through cinema.
Pearl Harbor.
Historic event.
That was like my study hall. Got a lot of homework done in that class.
Wild.
Shout out Coach Wallen. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Same time, same place tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.